Only one conference in action tonight, but boy, was it a doozy. We'll talk about the Red River Conference tonight. Also, we're going to have Kyle Busch. He's the associate head coach at Cumberlands Patriots. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. First, I want to start with this. I missed it the other day. Thank you to Northwestern Ohio for tagging me on this. I'm sorry I didn't get it on earlier this week. But Ryan Archie, he scored his 1,500 career point on December 18th. What was that, a couple days ago against Siena Heights. Ryan Archie, that's a big milestone. Congratulations. You'll be in the record books at UNOH your entire life now. That's just amazing. So I wanted to reach out, tell him congratulations. And if you have any milestones in your program, make sure you tag me so we can get them on to the show. Well, some big games tonight in the Red River Conference. Let's start with LSU Alexandria. They took on Texas A&M San Antonio. It was a really good game. Now, part of the game, Presto Sports was down, so I couldn't see any scores. But then we got it down toward the end, and we could see what was going on. But it was a very tight game. I got to give Texas A&M San Antonio tons of credit. But LSU Alexandria comes out with the win. They won this 74-71. They go to 12-1, the Generals do. Cashy Nat, 19 points, 11 rebounds. File that double-double patent. Abney, he scored 12 points, as did E.J. McClellan. They both had 12. So a big showdown set now for Saturday as LSU Alexandria is going to take on Our Lady of the Lake, and they have to travel to OLLU. That's going to be a big game on Saturday. And speaking of Our Lady of the Lake, they also had a battle with LSU Shreveport. This thing really went down to the end as well. The OLLU, the Saints, they were able to hold on 90-86. Wakil Lopez, 20 points, 15 rebounds. Massive double-double. Trey Law, 17 points, 3 rebounds. So with this Our Lady of the Lake, they go to 12-1. And as we said, they're going to host LSU Alexandria on Saturday. I'm going to say that's the game of the day this weekend. So let's take a look at the Red River Conference. These were really significant games tonight in the conference. Texas College won. Louisiana Christian beat Paul Quinn. But look, LSU Alexandria beat Texas A&M, as we talked about. Our Lady of the Lake won over Shreveport. And Xavier beat Southwest. So why is this significant? So Xavier is trying to keep pace with Our Lady of the Lake in Alexandria. They did. You can see in the loss column, they're all tied. Alexandria's got them 2 in the win. Texarkana is another, a full game back. And then you got this mid-pack right here, 5-5, 5-4. So let's see what's going on Saturday. Really, all these games are important because everybody's trying to stay alive in that conference. Paul Quinn's going to play Xavier. Now, I know Paul Quinn's record, if you look at it, isn't the greatest in the world, but they've been known to knock teams off. They're an upset maker. So keep an eye on that one. And also, obviously, this is the big game. Alexandria is at Our Lady of the Lake. But Shreveport's going to want to win too. These other teams are all trying to break out of that middle of the pack. So we're going to have to keep our eye on the Red River Conference on Saturday. Hey, we spoke to Kyle Busch. He's the associate head coach at University of Cumberlands. I met Kyle in Kansas City last season. He and I and Matt Daniel had talked about wanting to get him on. He's a really key piece to that Patriots operation. I reached out to Matt Daniel, and we talked, and we said, well, why don't we get Kyle on? So I spoke to him this morning. Obviously, they're coming off a little bit of a rough patch, but I got to give the guys at University of the Cumberlands a lot of credit. They really stood right up and said, "Yeah, we'll talk where we're at." And anyway, I appreciated that. So let's listen to Kyle Busch, the University of the Cumberlands. Cascade Hoops Talk. This is Billy D. I got Kyle Busch. He's a associate head coach at the University of the Cumberlands. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? Thanks for being on.
Hey, doing great, Billy. Appreciate you thinking about our program and calling to have us on here. Really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed meeting you down in Kansas City last year. We were able to sit down for a few minutes then. I just told you before we started, I wanted to reach out to you guys. I wanted to wait till you won, though, because going through these rough patches is what athletics and coaching and life is all about. You lost those 4 games. They were against tough opponents. Just talk about how you've worked the team through this tough period.
Yeah, no, Coach Daniel's done a fabulous job at the head of our program, just navigating us through the waters. And, we've had a lot of the chatter of people talking about, the rough times and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we're hooping. We're playing basketball. And, we talk about it all the time in the office and with our team about, there are people that wake up every day and have real life things that they got to deal with.
Yeah.
And if us just playing basketball and losing some games and figuring out how we can make minor tweaks here and there. If that's our biggest struggle, then, we are in a very privileged place. And, to give our guys that perspective, really allows them to fall in love with the craft anymore and just appreciate everything that we got going on. But yeah, no, Coach Daniel, it starts with him. Even in the games that we were losing, we lost 4 really good teams. 3 of them were in the top 25 last coach's poll with Dalton State right outside looking in. So they were good quality teams, but even through those losses, we started to see improvements and things that we need to work on. So just got to keep on stepping towards that.
I wonder what your perspective is. In my experience, if a team gets on a rough patch, it's really, really hard to fix it when you're on the road. And not so much the practice aspect, but you've got fans down your throat. It's just so much easier to fix things when you get home. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point right there. We really like to like the show, and that's a great event.
Yeah, it is.
We want to put our guys in those situations so that they got to see what postseason is like. You're going to be at random gyms playing at random times, and just to be able to adapt and be ready to do the unexpected. So once you're playing at home, you get that sense of normalcy. You kind of get in a routine, being in your own bed, knowing what your food is like. But even with Rio, man, when they came here, they were a really good ball club.
They are,
Coach
yeah.
Arrowwood does a great job. That's why regionally, them being so close to us, we really wanted to play them because we know that they would challenge us. So, but yeah, coming back last night, having Midway here at home, finally starting to get our full roster. Anthony Harris, who's been out all year, him to be able to get into the lineup and play with our guys, it was a really good feeling.
I want to go back to the show a little bit. The first loss you had was to Northwestern. They could arguably be one of the top team or the top team in the country. Are they as good as what they look? I mean, you saw them up close and personal. They seem very, very good.
Very disciplined. Those dudes, they play for each other. Very selfish. They really are. They're fully committed to each possession, and it's very evident how they play. Guys giving up good shots to get a great shot. Different guys that aren't on the stat sheet that are getting many numbers done, but guarding certain actions and somebody else stepping up, hitting open shots. Was very, very impressed with their ball club. They were very, very detailed, very tough mentally and physically, and they had a lot of good counters. So it was good for us. I'm glad that we got to play them early in the year. I'm sure they'll make a run at the national championship. But that was a really, really good test for us. And then going the next day playing Ave Maria as well. Again, very different pace of play. The two teams contrast very, very
Yeah.
differently. But again, it was good just to be out there to challenge. We want to play fast. We get up good numbers from points per game perspective, and Ave does as well. So it was really cool to kind of play back to back. You don't have much time to turn around. You can't.
No.
We like to go back and watch our games. and see where we can correct, but you're playing the next day. You don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So again, great challenge for us to be able to play two top 25 teams back to back in that time span.
So you guys beat Midway last night at home. You don't play again until the 30th. You're going to Union, which is they're down just a little bit this year, but that's always a tough trip. What are the plans for the team and the guys through this break?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, guys, they left yesterday after the game. They'll come back on the 26th. Really encouraging them. We've been on them about just staying in shape, staying
Yeah.
active as they go home. And our guys, the great thing about our group is our guys are gym rats. Them being in the gym is nothing that we ever worry about. It's nothing for Coach or I to pull up here at nighttime, 10 o'clock at night, because we got to grab something out of the office, and we'll see three guys in the gym just getting shots up. So our guys really love to hoop. But it'll be fun going back to Union. I'm a Union alum. That's where I graduated. That's where I played at, and to be able to go back for the first time and try to compete in the place that I played at, it'll be a really cool experience.
Wow, I didn't know you played. Did you play for Coach Burton?
Yes, sir. I played for Coach Burton 2013, and I graduated in 2015.
Oh
So,
man, you're old,
um,
Kyle.
hey,
I didn't know
I'm
you
telling my
played
age
for.
over here.
Boy, he put together some teams over the years, didn't he?
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool to be, I was in Coach Burton's first recruiting class in his first year at Union. So to be able to be the foundation for what was to come and to see it play out over the years,
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to have experienced that and to see the turning over of a program like it was, and really help develop and shape me as the basketball mind that I am
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Coach Burton is probably one of the best XO guys out there. So when you go back there, having played now, a number of years have passed. I mean, half a decade or no, a decade. Do they give you any juice when you go back there? Do they even remember you?
Oh yeah. No, there's a lot of good people. Union's only about 40, 45 minutes away. And I'll run into people in the community and just being out and about. And I still got a lot of really good relationships over there, specifically with professors that I'll
Okay.
run into. I've actually had two professors since being back here at Cumberlands that I've met up with, just getting a coffee with, and just picking our brain about life. Not even hoops, just talk about the good
Yeah,
old days.
absolutely.
So it's been really a blessing to me.
So Kyle, when you bring the guys back after they get their Christmas break, you got to get them ready for Union, and then you got to go to Knoxville right after that. Johnson, they lost the other night, but boy, they're really good as well. What's the most important thing for your team getting as they get back going after Christmas? They're going to come into two tough non-conference.
Yeah, I think just being connected, guys just understanding, we were really feeling good. It kind of, we're hitting our strides right now. As of yesterday, we felt just the week leading up to our midway game. As I mentioned, our practices as we started to get everybody in our rotation, back full health. We were feeling really good. Practice was going very well. Guys just getting in a good flow with each other. But that's going to be the main thing, because we just now started to hit that again, having Harry Morris back full time now, having Anthony Harris out there in practice, and all of us been able to put it together in the game. Just getting that flow back together of being able to play with one another, kind of knowing each other's tendencies, knowing what each other like, and just being able to support each other. Guys got to take on different roles as you get full health back. Guys got to shift and change their roles and change their mentality, and just to keep everybody locked in and that perspective
Yeah.
to understand what the importance of their role is. And if we can do that, we feel very, very good about our group.
Okay, one more question, Kyle. So everybody says, I say it too, that you're going to learn more from rough streaks than you are winning streaks. What are one or two of the lessons? And I know there's been a lot of frustration since the show, but what are one or two of the lessons that you feel you have absorbed through this kind of rough period?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Lessons that we learned. I think that it's the things that start to bring us together is like I just mentioned, the connectivity.
Yeah.
To understand that so many times as basketball coaches we go to a loss, and we'll start looking at numbers and stats of this, that, and the third. But there's so many things in the basketball on a game, within a team, within a group, that stats don't replicate, that they don't show for. So to kind of just identifying those those parts, personality wise, and just bringing people together to support one another. And, because again, as coaches, we're only around our guys so much. Most of the time is them in the dorms and them alone. And those are the conversations as a coach that you hope are, positive, that you got, if there's negative chatter, that, there's going to be people within the group that will step up and, kind of level that off. And we've seen that. We've seen development in people's personality and their leadership, even when they don't know that we're watching. I've seen them, their vocalness, their communication is increased. So those are things that have been very, very positive for Coach Daniel and I to observe through that time.
Well, I think that Kyle, I think that's a great point. As you were talking, I was thinking, if I watch a good coach and the other team's on a run, oftentimes they won't start pointing out X and O stuff. They'll just indicate, with their hands to talk. They'll just talk, guys, talk. So kind of just what you're saying, they maintain that connectivity. I think that's a great point. Well, Kyle, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes here, just a few days before Christmas, to talk to me about a losing streak. You're a pretty brave man, but I really appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, we're not ducking anything over here, man. So no, I appreciate you, Billy. You have a Merry Christmas, and hopefully see you out in Kansas City again.
Absolutely.
March.
Hey, Kyle, thanks a lot. That's Kyle Busch. He's the associate head men's basketball coach, the University of the Cumberlands. Thank you, Kyle. Hey, thanks a lot to Kyle Busch and to the University of the Cumberlands. Really appreciate that. And thanks, Matt Daniel, for setting that up. A couple of questions on Twitter. No, this is not the Kyle Busch from NASCAR. This is the Kyle Busch who played at Union. But, hey, I tip my hat to those guys over at University of Cumberlands. It's a lot of guys would have stepped down or stepped away from that, maybe just ignored me, not stepped up and wanted to talk to me going through a rough stretch, but they just really manned up and they were more than willing to talk about it. So I really appreciate that. Let's keep going here. Oh, I think there might be one more. So we also had upset tonight. So University of Pikeville, they fell to West Virginia Tech, 79-74. For West Virginia Tech, Braden Chapman, he had 27 points. 7 rebounds. I think he had 6 assists too. And Thomas Haley, 19 points, 8 rebounds. So this is a loss for Pikeville as they go to 13-3. Not a bad loss. West Virginia Tech is a pretty good team. So this isn't one of those, oh my gosh, they lost to them. West Virginia Tech is a tough team who's going to give everybody a bit of a run. And Pikeville fell tonight. I have a feeling Pikeville is going to be okay. Well, that's what I have for tonight, and it's Friday morning before Christmas. I'll be back. I'll definitely do a Monday show because there's games over the weekend. We'll try to catch you all the way up, and I believe that'll pretty much catch you up through the Christmas week because there's just very, very few games between that and the New Year's. So that's the plan right now, working with getting Jamin Copeland on. Also working with getting Corey Alford on from Huntington. So over the next, after the holiday, hope to get on Corey Alford as well as Jamin Copeland from Ave Maria. So stay tuned for that. I'll talk to you again on Monday. So there's one more show before Christmas. But thanks a lot for everybody's support, and I really appreciate it. And go watch some NAIA basketball because it truly is the best entertainment value in America. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.